Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thank you for tuning in on this fine, perfectly fine Monday. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Like I said, I'm the American Anchor Baby. I got a little bit of a show for you today. Gonna get into it here, okay? As they say. So welcome on this fine Monday, and I'm happy to be back after this fine weekend. How was your weekend? You're coming in. You are coming home from work. You're catching the anchor, baby. And you're wondering what we're going to get into today. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Look, you walked into the house. You walked in. You're eating the chips. You're like saying hello to the people. You're fixing yourself a plate. You got your shoes on the couch. And you won't even click the like button. You won't even do a simple little hello. Come on, at least say hello. Oh, you don't say hi no more? Oh, you come around, you don't say hi no more? Typical. Because maybe you don't like it. Maybe you don't like it. That's fine. Leave a comment. Tell me what you don't like. Maybe you'd have no clue. Okay, fine. Just at least show some decorum and say hello, okay? There's fine people in the chat right now. Show some decorum. Powerful young chat. And say hello. Maybe you don't like what you see. But okay, you're in the house. You're enjoying the food. You kicking your feet up. Click the like button. What's wrong with you? Were you raised in a home of no consequences? Welcome to the stream, everybody. Appreciate it. You guys are rolling in. If you want to talk to the Anchor Baby and call him, you can call in 888-775-3773. If you want to talk today. You know, you might not like the stream with some of what I want to get into here because we're exposing today. Oh, we're telling the truth. Yo, I was talking to this one guy and he was telling me the truth. And I'm about to tell it to all of you. I'm about to reveal. You know how the truth is? It reveals dirty secrets. Right? That's what the truth does, right? Reveals nasty, dirty secrets. Sorry, I'm all of a sudden confused. But we have to get into the Diddy situation. We really do. It is crazy. It's dark, sordid, and evil. A revelation of people's deepest, darkest secrets and desires. The worst of people put on display. You wouldn't believe it, folks. You wouldn't believe half of what's happening. Nick is going to tell us. He's going to tell us about the freak-offs. He's got the inside scoop on the freak-offs. Why? Why, oh why? In what world, in what reality would you need that much baby oil? You wouldn't even know the half of it. You wish you could use even half of that baby oil. You're telling yourself, oh, one bottle is all I need. You don't even know. You don't even know how deep it goes. It's so nasty. Sean Combs, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. PD, a.k.a. Love. We went through it a little bit on Thursday on my show. We went over some of my thoughts on the indictment that came down from the government, the feds. And you guys know this is allegations, right? That's how these indictments basically work. There's no criminal charges just yet. This is the alleged conduct, the alleged criminal conduct in this indictment. You know that, right? You know, I get to lord it because maybe I didn't know that. But look, people they're quite degenerated, and indictment versus criminal versus an arrest versus a detainment, an indictment versus a sentencing. Like, these things don't matter to people. It's just sensational. And we went over it a little bit on Thursday, coming down from the United States District Court, Southern District of New York. This is the attorneys that represent America on the big boy cases. And they're really worried about sex trafficking. I told you my thoughts on that Thursday. Dubious, if you ask me, on if those people who were so-called trafficked really had the choice to be there or not. And there's no mention of gay sex, okay? Calm down, okay? No mention of that in the indictment from the feds coming down to Mr. Sean Combs, who was I believe denied bail and has to basically be in jail until that gets figured out. But that's what came down from this district court. Big boy cases. So I was telling you about that on Thursday. My reservations on this whole sex trafficking accusation and how it looks legally dubious, even to some, if you believe some of the people I was reporting on and their thoughts on the case. Some of them lawyers. There were male commercial sex workers mentioned in the indictment coming down from the feds. Okay. But and you know, the allegation is that he coerced women into having sex with these male commercial sex workers, as they're described in the indictment. And whatever. Look, it's still straight. I'm sorry. There's all sorts of nasty stuff in the Lil Rod lawsuit, and you could go back to my Thursday show. But there's this guy who is some person who was in the music industry, worked with Diddy. He has his own lawsuit that he put forth. That's not coming from the feds, and the feds want nothing to do with all those allegations of unnamed but well-described male rappers and others and entertainers allegedly getting involved with nasty stuff with Diddy. Whatever. Feds wanted nothing to do with that. I wanted to get into it here, like Joel says, Joel Friday TV, shout out. I wanted to get into it here to show you even more evidence, really, why all men, really all people, but what's really wrong with the world and why all men need to forgive their mothers. You've heard it before, and you're like, some of you are like, that's crazy. I don't even know what that means. I'm going to show you some evidence. And how evil this world is, and the villain is not who you expect, okay? It's you, the viewer. Who'da thunk it? Okay, maybe some of you thunk it. Some of you thunk it, but if you want to call 888-775-3773, you could talk to the anchor baby, get it off your chest. Maybe I'm wrong. You let me know. So, we got to go. Where I want to go is to Usher and Bieber. You may have heard. I know you know Usher. I know that you know Usher, I'm sure. Unless you're particularly young. And another individual, Justin Bieber. I'm sure you know Justin Bieber. Come on. Everybody's a believer. Everybody loves Justin Bieber. He's a Canadian. In Canada. Right? Born in Canada. Little Canadian. And I remember growing up, he got a lot of hate. Everybody, either you were a young girl and you loved Justin, or you're everybody else. You're like, who's Justin Bieber? Ew, baby, ew. It's what people said. And I want to talk about Usher and Justin Bieber a little bit, okay? I know it's a little bit of an old story, but people really care about it right now. And to understand this a little bit, I guess you got to know a couple of deets. Basically, Usher, American singer, did very well in his career. Fine. He did just fine, no? And when he was in his youth, like 14 years old, he went off to be with Diddy, Sean Combs, like some adults say it, to go to this call it a camp, what can we call it here? They called it Flavor Camp, an exclusive mentorship run by Diddy, then known as Puff Daddy. During the early stages of his career in the 1990s, when Usher was still a teenager, he was sent by his record label to live with Diddy in New York City as part of his camp. The purpose of Flavor Camp was to immerse young artists in the entertainment lifestyle, which Diddy was known for at the time. Some of you might be familiar with Usher even kind of talking about this time, being a wild time. Wild, and he saw and did things, maybe just saw, can't remember, things that were wild, truly wild, that in a place that he wouldn't send his kids, now a father, he wouldn't send his kids to. And people heard that on the Howard Stern show, and they've been running with that ever since, and many other things. And I'm sure he wasn't lying, but you got to understand the incredible stretches and the links that people take people's words to where they never did. So you got to know that a little bit. You got to know that Usher found Justin Bieber in some way, snagged up the talent, signed him, and then in some form of business introduced him to Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Love, a.k.a. PD. And then Bieber started working with Sean Combs for a while there, okay? So you got to know that a little bit. And so I want to show you, I guess, a video here starting it off. And this video has been around for at least 2 years or so. This video's been around, but this is hitting people at an emotional height. TikTok, you gotta let's put ourselves in the public shoe, because you're not the public, right? Not my audience. You guys are based, not a bunch of we normies. They say the anchor baby's a normie. That's okay. Maybe that's okay. So where was I? How's the public right now? What's the let's take the temperature of the public for a moment here. Indictments come out. Diddy jailed, seeking bail to await court and all that in his own home. Rumors that have been around for a while, but yet have resurfaced yet again with more gusto. They're watching the TikToks, and the TikToks are all emotional. And they're like, look at this video when this guy looked at this guy with this face. What does it mean? And then this video hits their emotional, stupid public eyes. And here's the caption. Bieber was signed to Usher, and Usher sent him to Diddy on a platter. Oh, no. And again, this video, I think, came out even like 2 years ago. More on that in a moment, but hitting people at an emotional height. Bieber, tell us your story.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. So if she ever needs me, I'm going to be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments, because people take for granted
he's crying
encounters, and I just want to protect her, I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. Yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
Do you realize how important your story is? Every time I have a conversation with someone who's been through this unique type of experience, I'm searching for some kind of truth that can help.
I commend you for going there and asking the tough questions and the things that people don't want to talk about, and they don't want to go there because it's revealing and it's...
Don't you know how important your story is, Justin Bieber, says this guy. Your story's so important. Why is this being celebrated? This video's going around and the people, they're so blind and they all over the comments and they know what's going on, and more on that in a moment. But why is this being celebrated? At any level. At its most basic, his approach to the whole thing. Let's put ourselves in the public's shoes for a second and assume that everything the public is thinking about Bieber and what happened with Diddy and what could have happened and what happened to him as a boy is true. Let's assume that for a second. How is this a response to all that? As a response to all that, how is that? Why should that be celebrated? It's just so, you can hear it in his voice. He's like, I don't want her to go through that. And this fool with his fear words. Those are just fear words, you know, when you hear someone's story and you don't have anything. Most of the time, there's nothing you need to say. You have nothing to say, nothing important. You say, don't you know how important it is what you just said? You talk around it like you could just tell me what you think. Don't you realize what's important? It's so important what you said. What's important about it? I say be careful with people who want to save you. Want to save you, you heard Bieber. I just want to protect her. He's talking about, this is from an interview with some guy named Zane Lowe, okay? He was promoting, Bieber at the time was promoting an album, the album called Changes, apparently. And, you know, this whole interview, he has this pitiful posture, honestly. And the whole thing, his media appearances at the time were all marketed as Justin Bieber opens up like he's never before. He opens up. And I mean, you could definitely watch the interview yourself. You might find it interesting. They talk about Jesus. They talk about Christian. Bieber talks about himself going through quite pretty wild times as a youngin' in the industry. And he doesn't talk about it like he was held at gunpoint either, by the way. Like he was trafficked. He's just saying it's wild, okay? And so he spent that time, wild times in the past. And then he comes out and he's talking about Christianity. He said, I always believed, but I had the faith, but I didn't have the work, or something like that. Like I always thought, I started losing my mind and getting into wild things, and my ex, I couldn't trust her anymore. He was talking about, I don't know who he's talking about. And then he said something about, and then I really went deep into my faith. I learned that faith without works is dead, or something like that. And so I had to do the work and not. And then what does he mean by the work? What if I may, for a moment here, since I watched some of it. He says, so I stopped having so much sex, or something like that. Like he talks about a physical thing, like as if that's what's keeping you from God. You know, like, I'm sinning. You know, people say they sin when they eat or watch certain things online or, do drugs or whatever. It's like, yeah, I'm not saying go do those things, but it's an interesting thing when you hear people talk about God surrounding all that. And they really all sound the same. Like no understanding, very shallow and young sounding. But anyways. So this video's from that interview. And this whole thing is marketed as him opening up like never before. 888-775-3773. People were trying to call me there. If you want to call me, I will get to you. He's opening up like never before. And it's crazy, man. It's like, I don't understand why you'd sit there and do something like that. The world is still going to judge you. Women are still going to judge you. You could tell them, let's say for a moment again, that we're assuming it's true, the rumors. Women are going to judge you for that, man. Let's say he went out on some stage and said, this is what happened to me. And this happened to this. This is what happened to me. Insert dirty sexual thing when I was a boy, when I was a kid in the industry. Women are going to judge you for that. Sorry, buddy. Your wife will still judge you for that more than ever. And you know what? You won't get better. You won't get better. You'll still just get worse. So why is that part being celebrated? Let's say, we'll get to that in a second. So what about that? What about any of that should be celebrated? His pitiful, like, oh, he's so hurt. Look at him. He's so hurt. That shouldn't be celebrated. He's talking about nothing. Just saying, oh, I want to save this other person. By the way, who's he talking about? He's talking about Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish. Bill's looking at me like that's not her name. Bill knows pop music. No, it's Billie Eilish, not Billie Eilish. And he's talking about her, and he's saying, oh, I want to protect her. And he starts crying. He's like, I want to protect her from anything that I went through. Vague, all sorts of evil people making assumptions, but okay. No need to know exactly what he went through. This whole thing about saving her, that shouldn't be celebrated either. So nothing about that video, nothing about the rumors, nothing about what should happen, nothing about the comments under that video should be celebrated. None of it. And so they got these videos now underneath that video with Bieber, and the caption reads, "The signs were all there." Watch this. So that's him, I guess, getting kissed on by some, I don't know, celebrity lady. That might be like that woman Pink, no?
I feel violated right now.
Oh, he feels violated.
Wow.
Into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Like that was bad. Wow. Look at you.
Like, sure, strange, maybe. So a little bit forward for such a young boy. I just young. It's a couple of levels here. You know, you're young in the industry like that, so you're far from like parents and all the institutions, so to speak, that keep the world at a farther arm's length, if not more, than from the children, the youngins, right? They're usually in school. They're usually in all sorts of things, right? As opposed to being on stage with some guy and talking about his career, his budding music industry career, which is a sordid place anyways, right? So you got people touching up on him, kissing and saying, you're basically a handsome young man. Yeah, that's what happened. Like, I'm not saying it's good, but handsome young men get this sort of attention. Yes, they get this sort of attention from older women and men, and I'm not saying it's good. I'm just describing something here. That's just the truth. What else about this? The signs were all there. Look, let's do this fast.
All right. What music are you listening?
I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody.
Would you rather have to be naked on stage during one full song, or drink a cup of blended worms? Answer Justin Bieber.
I have like little girl fans. I can't go see.
The signs were there, folks. What are these adults asking? I don't know what this is. He's crying. This guy on some talk show touches his arm. Funny.
Hey, this is a brand new.
Like, this is what people you got to understand. Maybe one part you may not get is that I forgot to show you the multi-million views these posts got on X.com. We're talking 22 million, 11 million. We'll check on that in a second. Oh my gosh, the signs were there. People were into he was a minor, but is what they're trying to imply. But okay, All you show me is people are attracted to this like young, handsome guy.
And you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy.
Oh no!
They're having the times of their lives, like you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but
what? What? Disclose?
15-year-old's dream. You know,
More crying.
All right, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, come out, you gotta, you know, wear your seat.
I mean, I'm 15. You could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit and all that.
Hey, yo, what's that mean? What? What does he mean? I mean, maybe he just wants to drive.
16.
Slow down. Let's slow down, Justin.
Okay.
Let's slow down. Okay.
One step at a time.
Slow down,
It's hard,
man.
but you know, these are the conversations that are going to bring change and bring, you know, a level of consciousness to people that can say, I need to really take a look at myself. Where am I at? And you know, if Justin's able to be vulnerable where he's at, then you know, I can do the same thing.
Man, you good? I'm good. How are you? All right, young brother, everything's good? Selling out arenas?
No, we can stop there. We can stop there. But slow down, Justin. Maybe big enough news that it was all over tabloids, even as someone that didn't watch or care about Justin Bieber. But you saw his life. He went a little nuts, maybe a little bit. Maybe he did have to slow down, huh? And he says, these are the conversations that will bring change. Justin, now I know you were talking about your album, your super emotional album, which I have not listened to, Changes. And I get it. You're talking about your album, and that might be true. Okay, I'm going to be honest about myself. But if this honesty you're talking about is anything I've seen so far, my friend, that is not helping anybody, man. Crying and conversations that bring. Have you seen the conversations being had in the comments, sir? They're talking about nothing. Let me show you. And I see calls, by the way. Thank you. 888-775-3773. I will get to you here. These are the types of conversations, and I won't play too much of this because I know this vulgar woman is just nasty. Some woman named Jaguar Wright. I don't even know who the heck she is. She's not that important. From what I could tell, she's not even that involved. She's just some nobody. She's another one of these people, by the way. She's another one of these people alongside this other guy, Gene Deal, bodyguard of the Sean Combs people back then. She's just another one of these people who's come out years later, when it's, oh, you mean people will listen to me if I say this? You mean there's capital to be made, socially or otherwise? Say less. That's my opinion as well. A lot of these people are thinking like that, in my opinion. But let me show you, Jaguar Wright, just a little bit of this to show you the types of conversations people are having. The how there is no light happening. Okay, Justin, and being saying all those vague little things about going through stuff isn't going to help anyone, and doing what this woman is doing and what others are doing. Talk about it. Talk about the grape. Talk about what he did to this person. Talk about the specific details. Tell me the details, the nasty details of the rumors and who did what to who. Yeah, that's not going to help anybody. These are the types of conversations Justin Bieber they're having. Oh, wait, I got to unmute this. This vulgar woman basically repeats some... What did she say again?
No, do you have any views on Usher? Because a lot of things have come back to where
Usher.
they talk about his...
Usher, I'm tired of Usher.
Oh, okay.
Goofy bitch.
No.
Got your asshole ripped open and the only thing...
Oh, sorry. That's the part I was trying to avoid. She's talking about Gene Deal, this bodyguard who made some... It's so crazy to see the broken telephone and the absolute lack of...
Different, huh?
Oh, sorry. The broken telephone and the absolute lack of love. It's crazy to see how demonic... And then, ourselves too, judging. So we'll get into that. But some bodyguard said something about, oh, Bieber went to the hospital, and I'm going to let him speak on this, and I'll let him. And that's like pretty much all he said. So some rumor about some guy who's another one of these guys who's come out years later to say something, and he has a show. He has some like show now, so it's lucrative for him to. Anyways, and he comes out and says, "Oh, I don't know. I'll let him say, but between Diddy and Bieber, it's a touchy subject. Usher, and then the hospital was involved." And you got people saying all sorts of crazy things. You understand? You understand how nasty people are? So yeah, no conversations are bringing change, okay? And let's say for a moment here that even if Bieber and Usher were both, they were raped viciously. And it's like the worst, like the absolute worst is all true. It's all true. There's no reason for all this crap. No one is getting better from all this. I promise you. Nobody's getting better from having this conversation. I promise you. And they're saying it's all coming out. It's all going to come out in court. You people, you got to be really stupid. You got to be stupid. You know, that's why we're going to have a war. That's why we're going to have a war. That's why we don't have a government by the people. That's why this government shutdown and Mike Johnson means nothing. Maybe we'll get into that later. That's why, and that's why we're going to have a war. You know, it's funny, you know, I don't want to discount and totally derail some of the criticisms on the GOP and Trump. Like, oh, he's too close to these war people. He's going to be okay with a war with Iran and all that. And look, what I'm trying to say here, I don't want to sound like I'm smart and derail those comments that I've heard. But that being said, you can't put it all on him. Look how stupid people are. They're into this. And I guess I'm stupid too. I'm into it too. I'm trying to nitpick here. And I've judged the bandwagoners. So now I'm all activated. I want to talk about this. And that's why we're going to have a war. People are focused on this. But anyways, look, we'll get into it more. Let me get right into this call since you've been waiting here a while. I will bloviate and continue. I have like another little bit on this, and then we can move on. Maybe I can express some of these details in a moment. Let's not let our caller wait too long. I do appreciate you holding. You're on the air. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is me. It's Brian from North Carolina.
Brian, North Carolina on the air. Man, I appreciate you calling.
Right on, Nick. I mean, you kind of said what I was going to say while I was on hold.
Tell him, man. Tell him. Someone else has got to say it because this is the kind of... All they see is rapists, and people are like hamsters, like little animals. They don't really see evil. Help them out.
Yeah, man. Well, the one thing you asked, you were like, why is he doing this interview? And when you did that, it made me think about the Punchy TV episode earlier today.
Yes.
And the lady that called into the radio show, I mean, do you guys think that was the first person she talked to about it was the radio guy?
Ooh, I would venture to say no.
Exactly. I would too, Nick. And somebody told her that was a good idea, or that's what she should do because it would help others. I'm not saying that's what happened with that one, but that's what
I've heard that before, though.
Justin Bieber, was saying these are the conversations we need to have. This is what people need to hear about it. Like you said, that's just a bunch of baloney. It's just giving a bunch of other people a reason to judge you, and then another reason for people to be victims who feel like that they've had the same thing done to them. And the thing it lacks is accountability. People go on these interviews and no one asks them where they went wrong. No one's talking about that. They're only talking about what someone else did to them.
Right. Yeah, what somebody else did to them. That's so true. Yeah, that's all they're saying. That's helping nobody, especially not the person. And then on top of that, all the people making all these assumptions as to exactly what happened. Well, you don't need to know. Well, you don't need all that. And they want to, but they take in those made up details in their minds, and they end up blaming the wrong person.
Yeah. Yep. Well, those details are based off how they feel about the same person.
Yes. Yes.
It's just that's why it's useless for us to even know about any of this stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to know about anything that's going on in your life at all.
So true, man. If there's like a crime that happened, that even then, that's between Bieber and the law. And I highly doubt that any of this would be brought to Usher and Bieber themselves. They say, I think, in not too specific terms, but there's like, no, I mean, they basically say, nah, they're cool with Diddy. And here's the thing. I would doubt that they'd bring some sort of criminal thing, like Usher and Bieber would bring some criminal thing against Diddy, because I think they know very well, like so many of these people involved, they were there, in my opinion, and if any of the sordid things of the nasties happened, willingly. They were there. Yep. Yes. Guess what, folks? You can be underage and be kind of a nasty, rotten person. Did you know this?
100%. Justin Bieber, 100%. Let's just take the Justin Bieber example.
Yeah.
Right? He's this little kid. He's, what was he, 15 or something like that?
Raised by his mother.
Right. He could have, at any moment, he could have been like, let me call my mom because I don't feel right. You saw the faces he was making when Diddy was saying some of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that could have ended at any point, but no, he's a young kid and he wants that. Something in him desires all that wicked stuff.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that you slip and fall into that hell. That's just what happens.
Well said. Yeah, slip and fall is a good way of putting it in a sense, right? He's just like this. You just go on this path. You end up on this path that has this pull to it. At the same time, you can't judge him and blame him. But but that's the very reason why I think both of us are even bringing it up, not to judge and blame, to point it all out. And it's like he wants to save this girl too. This girl, this young, I don't know how even old she is anymore, but I've seen her around. Billie Eilish, she's makes music, right? And
you call her? Did you say Billie Eilish?
Billie Eilish, we love Billie Eilish. Who knows Billie Eilish? But you know, she makes music. She's young and in the industry. I want to save her and protect her. Have you seen this girl? She's become a little devil.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to save her?
Yeah.
Did you know, folks? Sorry. Oh, Nick hates children. Yeah, little kids can be turned into like little rotten. And this is not to condemn them to hell, but I'm just saying, people think that it's like they're just a kid. There's no way they'd have evil in them. That's not true.
Oh, whatever, man. I've seen some wicked kids.
Yes.
Let me tell you, they exist. And that, honestly, it's you know what's crazy about that, Nick? Kids are like, I don't know if you ever handle like reptiles or venomous insects and things like that, but the worst of the kind are the babies, the little ones, the children, because they don't have any. Like when a baby venomous snake bites you, it just releases all its venom because it doesn't have any idea of control or anything. You know, it just releases all of it. Versus an adult snake or something like that, it'll hit you with a lesser dose. Just like that in the animal kingdom.
Interesting factoid. That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, you said everything I was gonna say already.
Thank you, sir.
So. Thanks for the time.
Much appreciated. Call me again.
Will do. Bye-bye.
Belieber. I mean, do you guys get it? Like, I'm trying to tell you that none of this is going to help anybody. There's no one getting help from this. And even if he was the worst happened, even if the worst happened, he was viciously some blah, blah, blah. That video we saw, meaningless. Helping nobody. Bieber's not getting better. And it's like, let's say all that was true, and he was trying to hint at all that. Isn't that you're protecting a criminal? You know what I mean? Let's say it's all true what they're saying. I was bound and at gunpoint. I really didn't want to do any of that. It's all true. So you're protecting a criminal, like, so you could do this emotional, like, yeah, I just don't want anything to ever happen to me. That's helping nobody. Okay. Let's see here. What else here? 888-775-3773. I have not even looked at the chat to see if y'all get it. Because I know what I'm talking about. But okay, maybe I should look at the chat a little bit, okay? This is probably a mistake, okay? But I'm tough now, okay? I can look at the chat. There's some other things I wanted to mention real quick. Usher, his mama, forgiving your mother, the influence of the mother, the destruction it has continued over generations, and just how it stayed under the radar for all these years. And one man is trying to reveal this to the world, but the devil knows this and has sent his little demons to shadow ban and otherwise. His name is Jesse Lee Peters. Look, Usher, a little bit more details on, look, Usher, I'll put it like this. I'll be quick because I see calls coming in. 888-775-3773. Going back many years now, Usher made some children. He made some children with some woman named Tamika Foster. A nice black woman. Sorry, my bad. I meant woman. A nice black woman. Beautiful brown, beautiful black skin. I don't know. I guess I'm doing like a black, not supremacist thing, but like a, ain't nothing wrong with being with your own. I don't know. I'm doing something a bit on that, I guess. Like Muhammad Ali said, ain't the bluebird with the bluebirds. So that went badly, basically. Okay, turns into custody battles. It's a mess. Usher goes on Oprah, and he does this is years ago, folks. Years ago. But through some of this research, I have uncovered the crimes of the mother, which, like so many, stay hidden. Usher's parents split when he was young. I believe when he was just a year old. Wikipedia says his father left them. I mean, do I have to tell you? I mean, you've heard it before. We don't know. And that's usually never the story. Now I know a little bit better. I know I've lived many lifetimes now listening to the callers on the JLP show. And is that Nick's hubris a little bit? Look, I'm playing around. And I know that's not usually the story, okay? Wonder what she may very well have been held to pay, but okay, they say he's gone from Usher's life, grows up like this. He goes on this show, Oprah. It's all women. He goes on Oprah with his mother to talk about his problems. What a mess, number one. And he's talking about getting custody of his children. And anyways, I don't know the deets. I didn't watch it. I don't care. But from this interview, it's clear that Usher does say something quite interesting. He basically reveals that his own mother got way too involved. He doesn't even put it like that, but he does reveal that his mother got involved with his marriage and that he did not get along, and she did not want Usher to marry Tamika Foster. Okay, it was a mess. And it's like, we don't need any more details. We know that woman got involved with that marriage and drove them crazy. Okay? If you know anything about the spirit of the mother, the woman. So she continued her mess, passed it on to Usher, destroyed countless destruction, continuing on for generations. I mean, it's just an interesting thing, okay, folks? And then we'll finish off with this, get right to a call. This whole thread finishes off with a clip of Jesus. Of course, they had to throw Jesus in. They had to throw Jesus, I swear. So the most judgmental, nasty people love to throw Jesus in there. And he play a little, this person, Breezy, whoever posted this whole thread, which has like millions of views, by the way, people are so shallow. Jesus forgives sinful woman. I don't know if this is from The Chosen or from what, but it's some show or some movie, and it depicts Jesus in that moment where he tells the public, he who sins, cast the first stone, okay, if you ain't never sinned, he basically said. And no one threw a stone because they knew. How are you going to put a clip of Jesus at the end of a thread of the whole world and yourself judging? Judging situations you don't know. Putting blame on some and placing hate and blame on the wrong people, leaving out how evil operates in people. It appears as pathetic. It appears as weak. It appears as sad. It appears as blaming. It appears as a victim. This is all aspects of the devil. And then you're going to play this little clip of Jesus and go like, yeah, you're right. Stop casting stones. I don't know what to tell you, folks. People are not it's a like very lower level snake-bellied thinking. Just a low mind. Who am I talking to? Your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, how's it going, man? This is Al calling from Midlothian, Texas.
Hey, Al, is this your first time calling the Anchor Baby?
No, man. We spoke probably about a year and a half ago, man.
Well, I appreciate you calling me back, Al.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So, man, I just wanted to give a call, man. So about a year and a half ago, I was working for a different company. And, man, I was just calling to get some advice at the time. I was like, man, what should I do? I was thinking about making that leap. And, man, I was just wanted to call in to say, dude, I did make that leap shortly after. And, man, I ended up in South America, East America. Man, it was the best move I ever did, man. And I don't know about all that P. Diddy crap and all that, but I'm just calling in to say, man, like, if you ever had the doubt in yourself or just say, hey, I wanted to make that leap, do it. If you got the confidence, just do it.
And is this pertaining to the conversation we had?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Man. Yeah.
Give us a little, I mean, since we have you on the phone, and if you don't mind, if we got you for a minute, give us a little update. I mean, and if you could remind the Anchor Baby a little bit, we had spoke about, basically you called me and you were unsure about making this move.
Yeah. I called you, man. I was just like, hey, what should I do? I started, giving the typical, hey, complaints and all this and that, man. And man, it was just like, hey, what should I do? And you're just like, man, do what you feel that it's best for you. It's for the family and all that. And you know what? I just said, you know what? I made that leap. I just opened up LLC real quick, and I just did my research, and, man, I made the leap, and, dude, it was the best thing ever. I did my own restoration business, and, man, believe it or not, me and my brother, we didn't have the best relationship. He just got out the military at the time, and he did his own thing. We had a fallout, and when I opened up my own business, and I helped him open up his business, it actually healed our relationship to actually have my own business, because I actually got to go visit him, help him with his business. He helped me with some different angles and stuff. So, man, it helped out pretty cool, man. It was like the best leap ever.
Man, I'm glad to hear that, sir. I'm glad to hear that. If you could remember the things that were making you afraid back then, could you name one, maybe?
Just the doubt in myself, man.
Yeah.
It's just second guessing it. It's just like you get comfortable and say for instance, like my biggest thing was, hey, I was in a position where I was making X amount of dollars. It was just all stuck in that salary position, and then boom, I moved to a different position outside that company, making the commission. And it was unlimited cap, but still, I was just like comfortable. Like I was making X amount to making a significant, amount. It was a big change in pay, and I just got stuck in my ways. I was like, why should I open up my own business? You know what I mean? Screw that. I'm getting all this extra commission, and man, I opened up, and it just took off on my own.
That's amazing, man. I'm glad to hear it, sir. I'm glad to hear it. Were you afraid, anyways? Were you like, okay, I'm going to do this anyways? Did the doubt like suddenly leave, or did the doubt remain, but you went out there and did it anyways?
Man, you know what? I was just like, you know what? I tried to go in the company, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go in there and talk to the owner and just tell him I'm out. I went in there multiple times. He wasn't there, and I was just going to be, yeah, you know what, he ain't there. I'll just hold off for another month or two. Screw that, man. I just got on my cell phone. I called the guy. I was just like, I can't catch you, man. It's just, I made the leap. I did the leap. I said, you know what? This is time. I'm going to do my own thing. And, dude, I never looked back, brother. Never looked back, man. It's just like, why look back? It's the best thing ever. The best thing ever, man.
Amazing, man. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, no doubt. And like I said, to anybody that's in the chat or any callers, listeners, whatever, if you're afraid to make that leap, don't be. Just do it. If you got it and you feel confident in yourself, find that momentum and just do it.
Love it, man. Anything? I feel like asking you something else.
Yeah, dude. Man, dude, I like literally went from all right, got my own business to construction to, man, I went from restoration to water mitigation. Man, it went from A to Z, man. I've traveled, dude, in this year and a half.
Oh,
You're
saying that when it went to A to Z, are you saying that you attempted like multiple different businesses?
No, it's just like it went from like I'm in the like okay, so I opened up my restoration business, and then my restoration business started opening up other LLCs. Like I started buying other companies within my company. You know what I mean? It just like literally took off. I'm like, damn, this is amazing. You know what I mean? It's just I had the drive. I just needed a little push, man, and I got the push, and man, it was just. Yeah, the blinders were off. You know what I mean? It's just like I was so limited to certain things I could do with somebody else's company. Now that I'm with my own company, it's all on me. It's all on me. The drive is there. If something happens, I got to say, I got to know. It's all on me, 100%.
That's crazy, man. I'm glad to hear it. Doubt in the mind, man. It's all these things we tell ourselves, all the things that we can't do, and we're held back by something not even real.
Yeah, man. It's not even real. It's like this false barrier that's right in front of you. Just, oh yeah, I'm comfortable in my ways. I'm stuck. I'm doing good for myself. BS. I mean, knock that barrier down. There's nothing there, and just go. It's unlimited. It's crazy how open this is in this field. You know what I mean? It's just damn business owner. It's amazing.
Let's go, Al. Right on, sir. Wishing you and your family well, man. Anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, man, just everybody stay positive. If you ever doubt yourself, just know there ain't nothing to it. Just do it, man. If you're ever at the lowest point, just know that you can't go any lower except up. Just go up and stick to it. That's it, man. Appreciate it, Nick.
Call me again, sir.
You have a good one, man.
That's nice. Yes? That's nice. That's nice. Wishing him well. Okay. Do your thing. Doubts. What are you having doubts for? It's like you could try and then maybe learn something. Maybe you won't. How about, I was about to say, maybe you won't have success like Al. How about even doubt the anchor baby's doubts? What the heck am I talking about? You don't know anything. You don't know ish. And what you think you know is wrong. Especially about yourself, by the way. Especially about yourself. Did you know? Did you know? Name me one person you've met that knows themselves. Exactly. Now tell me, does knowing yourself require you to... I've heard this, actually. I don't know. I was going to stretch a segue that was not going to make sense, but actually, hold on. You ever heard someone say, I don't trust them if they, oh, he doesn't drink? I don't trust that man. I don't trust a man that doesn't drink. I don't trust a man that doesn't insert XYZ. Shall we call it a sin if we're shallow Christians? You sinning, man? Why you drinking? You sinning? You cussing? Why you cussing? You sinning up in here? If we're shallow Christians. But they say, you may have heard that. Oh, I don't trust it. Essentially, the thinking is like, I don't know, I can't trust a man if they don't know how bad they can be, how evil they can be, maybe. I'm thinking is possibly connected. I don't know, there might be some manly truth in there about something like that. I don't know. But look. I don't know if you need to necessarily do this. Okay? And this is, I think, maybe a little bit of an older clip, but it got shared around recently on X, and it centers around that movie. Some movie. Now, what was it called? Who the heck is this guy again? Who's this guy? Jim? Is it 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒎? 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒎, right? And he was involved. I don't know. I didn't see this movie, but I don't know what capacity he's involved, but I mean, he was all over the promotion of this movie. And I forget the name of the movie. I'm trying to look it up. But it was that movie about all those children it's thematic, okay? Sex trafficking and all that. There's all this talk about sex trafficking and the elite run PDF rings and other things. 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒎. What movie? Movie about the children. Trafficking and all that. Sound of Freedom. That's right. Came out 2023. I know the right wing, is it fair to say the right wing? Maybe the boomer right wing on X. Are you a boomer if you're on X, though? And they were like, yes, this is an important film. Film is so important. It's revealing the truth that they're doing things to children. I want to play this a little bit here. Here's 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒎 describing just what he had to do, just how dark he had to get so that he can save his niece and others from what? Let's watch.
Because of the agents that I got to work with, got to show me things. And one particular time, he says, are you sure you want to go further? But I was weeping so hard. I said, this is what Tim goes through. This is what I got. I got to see it in order to go into there, to take people to a level of, will you do something? Will you do something? At some point, it ends for all of us. And so the pain is much better than the pain in the future. And if I have to see that to save my children, to motivate me to save my niece, to tell my sister, that's how I
know the clip is a little disjointed, choppy. This is how it was recorded, I guess. But a little strange, no? Is it just me? I concur with Owen Benjamin, who is sharing this video, on some of the points he's saying. But essentially that what I share the same weird, that's the impression I got too when I saw this. But that's who shared it, by the way. And that's why it's going around again recently. As the Diddy stuff is going on, I mean, it makes sense.
I go further.
And I too share I get this weird impression that it's a little weird. Look, he's saying that the pain now is better than the pain later. So, and what does that mean when he's saying that? He's talking about the pain of having to watch CP, and I'll let you figure out what that means. Now, he's talking to some FBI. Are you sure you want to go further? Are you sure you want to see this? He's saying, I got to go through this pain now to avoid pain later. So the pain now is him looking at CP, and the pain later is the pain that young people, I guess future victims, will go through at the hands of these people. Tell me, that's already weird. That's already out of order. That's not making sense. It's not logical. Why is, number one, on its face, how is that so? I guess you got to make a couple of leaps, but it's the pain he had to go through now to make this film, and this film is going to end. It's going to end this somehow. I mean, you see how you still have to make a lot of leaps. But okay. And not to mention that the pain he's feeling is like self-inflicted in a sense. Like, you don't even have to feel pain if you did see that. Let's say you were forced to watch something like that. You don't necessarily have to, if you knew what was going on in your mind and that you're not really in control, then you even being shown such horrible images wouldn't necessarily have to be this weeping fiasco that he feels pain over. And then, of course, the pain that's happening in the world, why is he taking it on? You know, he says he's going to save his niece.
Things, and
it's a lot of weird leaps. You got to understand, but this is how people think. This is the level of understanding people have of evil. Very, I mean, clearly, maybe not clear to everybody, but to me, quite clearly, like no understanding at all.
One particular time, he says, are you sure you want to go further? But I was weeping so hard.
The weird part, you don't see it? The weird part, he's saying, I had to watch Oh, he's like this. He's talking to some agent, and the agent's asking him, "You want to see this stuff, man?" He's like, and he's crying, he's weeping. He's like, "Oh yes, show me the CP. I have to see it. I have to see it to save the world from what arrests? What arrests have come down from Sound of Freedom?" I think they put out stats like millions and millions. What arrests have happened? Tell me who's been arrested from this movie? What did they stop? It's awareness. It's awareness. And fine, look, I don't want to be so cynical, I guess. I guess there's awareness that has its place and all that. But it's like, what? People don't, this is how people see evil and how they deal with evil. And we're seeing a man go through evil right there. He's describing weeping, looking at these images. That's not normal. That's not normal. That's drama. That's not normal. I'm not gonna go on. I'm not saying anything more than what I'm saying too. By the way, that I'm not saying Sound of Freedom is evil and everything he does is evil. Look, I'm just showing you. Look, even in my own chat, the people look at this video and they see nothing weird about it at all. It's like the guys who go around, and now they're beating them up. They go around filming and they're predator catchers. They're catching the predators. And they'll catch the predator and they'll be like, "Tell me what you did. Tell me what you did. Describe in detail what you did, what you wanted to do. Wasn't this you, man?" And you got to understand, so the implications are, number one, that these predator catchers want to know every sort of detail. It's like, what? Hello? Are we looking at the right sicko? And then on top of that, the implication is that these people were having long conversations with these people, and they had to pretend to be some rotten, and I mean rotten in this, children are like innocent, but they're also subject to a very nasty world, and they can be made not innocent very quickly and young. And okay, so he put the implication be that these predator catchers had a long conversation, a long sexual, nasty conversation with these people. Like, yeah, and tell me what were you gonna do with that kid? It's like, you know what they wanted to do. You were that kid that they were wanting to do it with, and you were talking about it quite adeptly, might I add. So much so that you convinced this man. Anyways, maybe it didn't take that much to convince someone to do so, to show up and want something like that, but. It's sick, and now it's a genre of content. Now it's like a genre. You could like type it in and be like, predator catcher. It's not going away. That's not making it go away. That's not stopping anything, okay? So, interesting stuff, don't you think? Oh, yeah, and I wanted to show you that clip real quick to show you why if you meet someone who wants to save you and wants to save people, steer clear, okay? This is how people who need to save others are. Show me the CP. Do it. I can't even imagine that moment. Like, he's crying with some federal agent. He's like weeping. He's like, I need to steel myself to watch more CP. Show it to me. Yeah, people do nasty things. You can move on from that. You don't need to feel all that. That's not going to make a better movie. I don't know. Maybe it might, I guess. You kind of need emotion, huh? To make you gotta, anyways, look, let's get to a caller. Hey, caller, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Man, this is John from Kentucky.
What's up, John? Appreciate you calling me, sir.
Man, what's your problem with To Catch a Predator, man?
What do you mean? You're talking about, who's that guy from To Catch a Predator? No, I like that guy. The guy, who was that guy's name? Chris Hansen. He was the originator. Yeah, no, he's a total legend. Yeah. He's got some of the most amazing clips ever. They're going to be legendary for a long time, for years to come.
So you have a problem with the guys who are doing like the copycats on YouTube and stuff. That's what you have a problem with?
I see. Here's what you're missing. I don't necessarily have a problem with them either. Like, some of them are funny. Like, even Chris Hansen. That's what I meant by Chris Hansen. I don't have a problem with it. Like, some amazing television. But even with Chris Hansen, my point may even stand with him in in the misdiagnosis of the public and the kind of exploiting of the thrill of the public. And this thrill from the public, what is thrill, they call righteousness. And that's what I'm pointing out. And that's probably even true with Chris Hansen. You understand this thrill that the public feels from watching these things, and the thrill that the people involved with those things are? They call that righteousness and good, and but really it's just thrills.
So let me guess. When you say misdiagnosis, you're trying to say the true culprit of the whole thing is forgiving of the mom, right? Are you going back to that?
I didn't say that, but yeah, that's a great point, man. Yeah, you
No,
could
that's not a
definitely.
great point.
If there's someone you wanted to blame, if there's someone who's better, if you wanted to get closer to the heart of it, I mean, yeah, you're onto something, John from Kentucky. I gotta say, thank you.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that's what you're thinking.
Oh. Yeah, a little bit, but no, I didn't say that. I was a little clearer than that. We could get to that. I think we need a little bit more. You need to go back to when I was talking about Diddy and maybe Usher's mom. That might give you a better understanding. But no, I didn't say that particularly for this one. But no, I'm not going to shy away like that's not closer to the truth.
Yeah, I have a question about the Diddy situation in a minute, but let me just talk about the mom for a second. You know, this is y'all's religion. This forgiving
No,
of
but
the
wait,
mom
before
thing.
you go off on some diatribe, you gotta understand. I did not say that. People, it's not the pedophiles, it's the mom. Like if you want to make just say what you gotta say. Go ahead. I don't need to police your I don't know what I'm doing there, sir. Please speak freely. My apologies.
You know, 9 out of 10 times it's a white man doing that too. You know. To them
Oh, you
kids or
must
whatever.
not watch. You must not watch the Hague Report. That's not true, actually.
I just wanted to throw that in there. But
you're throwing in lies, though. You're just throwing in lies. You know that.
So
did
what
you know
is
that?
it? What
Did
is
you
it,
know
7
that in
out
the
of
black
10?
community
7
it's
out of
pretty
10?
prevalent?
No.
Yeah,
I've
like
heard
sexual things
I've
between
heard Hake
family
say that
members.
before.
You know how prevalent
it
it is.
does
You would be
happen.
shocked.
It
You should
happens.
check out the Hague Report.
Yeah, you should check out the stats on.
Right, maybe no. I did. I watched the
race.
Hague Report, and it doesn't gel with what you're saying. So if you just want to throw something out, I will say unverified, sir. But okay, let's move on.
Hake is not the final source on those stats.
He's more credible than you.
He gets his stats from everybody else. I'd rather get my stats from what is it, FBI or something like that, other than Hake. Come on now.
But go ahead.
I was just
We already
saying
know you threw out an
mom.
unverified claim. Go ahead. Next, what do you want
It
to talk
doesn't
about?
matter. I can look it up if you want me to.
Right on, sir.
You're sitting in front of a laptop. You can look it up right now while I'm telling you
I don't
this.
feel like it.
Well, that's okay. But
maybe we could do that later. Maybe we could do that later. What do you want to talk about though first?
You and Hake, man, y'all always make me forget what I'm saying. Y'all just
sorry,
kinda
man.
like,
Sorry, I'm a
that's
mess.
all right. That's all right.
But
the
what
thing
you
about
wanted
the
to say,
mom-
go ahead, go. The mom.
The thing about the mom, that's not true for everybody, man. I just never got that, man. You know, when people say about forgiving your mom, some people have good moms, man. Some people have good families. Some people were raised with a mom and dad. That's why they turn out to be okay, because they have the same morals and values, you know. It's not everything goes back to the mom. Like I try to tell Jesse that, but that's y'all's religion. Like y'all somehow twisted that and mingled it with Christianity and came up with your own form of Christianity. That forgiving other mom stuff. That's BS. There's some good moms out there.
I would like to get into, and you already made a point, instead of just saying, oh, it's just your religion. Let's say why it's BS. And you already made a point. You're saying there are good moms. Well, can you tell me, and you said also, you said another thing. You said some people have two parents and they come out okay. Is okay good?
Yeah.
What's good about it?
What's good about it is that, first of all, nobody is perfect. All that perfect peace stuff, that's crap.
Is an
Nobody
imperfect
has
person
perfect.
good?
It all depends on, their flaws. What are their flaws? Are there some serious stuff or
Okay,
just some minor
name one flaw you're thinking of. Just name one.
serious or minor?
Name one. Just name one. Let's go. Let's do a minor one and a serious one.
Well, you're talking about pedophiles.
Okay. And so we can agree that that person's not good, right?
Of course.
Okay,
Heck,
so far you have yet to describe a good person who's been raised, and there's plenty of pedophiles who've been raised by both parents. You know that, right? Both parents, and so we can agree that's not good. Okay, pick another flaw, because you're trying to describe to me. You're trying to describe to me that.
You got to prove that. You got to prove that. You said
what do I got to prove?
People, you said there's plenty of people with a good mom and dad that turn out to be pedophiles.
You don't believe that there are people with? You don't believe?
I don't know any.
What's that guy? I'm trying to find this guy. This is more of a famous one. Yes, John Wayne Gacy. No, didn't he have? Wasn't he raised by both his parents?
Man, he's a serial killer.
Right, raised by his parents. You're saying that? I'm just trying to prove that there are people. I'm just trying to prove that there are people who were raised by both parents who we can both agree we would call maybe not good. Is that fair?
But the parents have to be, decent parents too. You can't have a situation where the dad was touching on the son or something like that. Then they grow up.
Well, now now you want to add to it. Sure, you want to move it a little bit. You said people are raised by two parents, they come out okay. But okay, you want to add a little bit to your statement now that it's been challenged a bit. Sure, they got to be decent, fine. But we can both agree that there's. Can we both agree that there's plenty of people who were raised by seemingly decent parents that you would call decent, but they turned out nasty?
Yeah, maybe, but it's not the majority.
Can you name a different flaw? Because remember, you were trying to describe to me how you were saying that there's all sorts of people who have mothers who were great and they were raised good, and you were talking about the flaws that people might have, but yet remain good. Can you name me another flaw that someone might have, but yet they're good?
Oh, you want to like a minor?
Sure,
flaw.
sure. Let's do a minor one.
Okay, somebody who is like. Has a nasty attitude,
right?
A mouthy type person,
example.
Disrespectful.
Yeah,
talks about people. That's minor.
That's a really good example, man. Would you call that? Let's say you met. I'm sure you've met people like that. You'd call them good? Would you call them good?
It all depends on how they are in their daily lives. Like if that's just a flaw that they have, then. But on the side, they're a member of the church and they do good things in the community, and they're just.
Well, I for one appreciate you being able to look past someone's flaw in a sense, right? That being said,
of people like that.
That being said, this person you're describing who has a nasty attitude but goes to church, would you call them good?
I would call them good, but not perfect.
Really? Why? And what's good about a nasty attitude?
No, I'm not saying that the nasty attitude is good. That's just the flaw of that person. Nobody's perfect.
Right,
I'm not perfect.
But you
want
to call them good.
You got flaws.
Does this nasty?
Nick.
Yeah, but does this nasty attitude person ever use their nasty attitude person on others and hurt others with their nasty attitude? As minor as it may be.
This is all hypothetical. But
fair enough, but as minor as it may be, do these people with nasty attitudes, do they put it out into the world and hurt others with it?
Okay, so we can say that they hurt someone's quote-unquote feelings. Okay, that's about it. That's why I say you can brush these things off.
And is that good?
It's a flaw. No, that in particular is not good, but they can still do good things. Like overall.
So the question remains: is that person good, or you're saying they do good things, but sometimes they do evil? Sometimes they do nasty, evil things
with no flaws.
So it's still unclear.
That what you're asking?
Well, let me lay it out again, because you've described so far a person who
you can't brainwash me.
Don't worry. I'm just talking to a man, right? We're just talking freely. Don't be afraid of the brainwashing. I know I'm powerful. Don't worry. But listen, just listen to my words. Hypnotize. Look, let's just I'm laying out a question for you. Just so allow me to lay it out. I'm asking you, the question remains, because you're describing a man who does good actions and bad actions that we both agree aren't, at least not good actions. So the question remains, is that don't you see how the question remains? That person is still unclear if that person is good, for that person is committing acts of both kinds. So how can you tell me with certainty that that person is good?
So this is what I can say, and I can only use my life experiences. All the people who I look at as, role models or looked up to them as positive influences, I looked at them as good people. But I know they have flaws, bad flaws. So I would say that they're good people with bad flaws, but they're not perfect people. That's the way I look at it.
These flaws, where'd they come from?
I mean, just life. You know, life is a ever-going process of trying to improve yourself and better yourself. The things y'all teach, you forgive your mom, and all of a sudden, everything starts to go right in your life, and you're headed toward being perfect. And that's BS. That ain't how life goes. Life is like a roller coaster. What?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. My apologies, man. I'm speaking to someone who sounds so confident and stable and seems solid. Like it just sounds like that, right? And then they throw out, like as if nothing, that they basically don't even believe in Santa, God. They don't believe in anything good. He just said, I don't believe that that's even possible. That you could forgive and become, I mean, it's in the Bible. Maybe you don't believe the Bible, but that you could forgive and get better in life. John just said,
No.
He just said, I don't believe that's possible. That's amazing.
Don't twist no, I didn't say that.
You
don't
literally
twist my
did, though.
Words, man.
You said
you
don't.
can't forgive your
Do you not
mom
believe in
and be
Santa either?
perfect.
Do you not believe in anything good?
In what?
Do you not believe in anything good in the world at all, or anything? Do you not believe in Santa either? Next thing you're gonna tell me you don't even
Santa, bro.
Yeah. Next thing you're gonna tell me you don't believe in Santa. You're a Grinch. You're saying you don't think it's possible to forgive and get better.
Man,
in life.
let me tell you something.
Is that what you just said?
Let me tell you something. If anybody was a Grinch, I am a Grinch, and I'm teaching my kids to be Grinches too.
I told you.
I don't believe in those.
I know you're a Grinch.
Man.
You literally just said you don't believe that people can forgive and get better in life.
No, I did not say that.
So then what did you say? Correct me.
I said y'all's religion. I said y'all say if you forgive your mom, then you're on your way to everything getting better and becoming a perfect, keyword, perfect person. I don't care.
I don't know who said. Wait, who said
mom.
Becoming perfect? Who said that?
Jesse.
Since when? It happens instantly, my friend. Now you ask him about this.
Oh,
but I don't know about this becoming perfect. I don't know about that. I've never heard becoming perfect.
Did you just
it's
say
in a blinking of.
instantly?
Have you heard Jesse say it? He says it happens in a blinking of an eye. What do you mean becoming perfect? But hey, ask him about that because, look, I know you're adding in you guys want to forgive your mother and you become perfect. I know that you're stuck on some of these words, but understand our religion. Understand for a moment the religion, this religion that we follow, whatever you want to call it, that you're criticizing. You're essentially criticizing something so simple and that is shocking that anybody would criticize, that you can forgive in life and you can get better. And you want to criticize. You say, oh, y'all's weird religion. What's weird about that? That's literally in the Bible, number one.
Listen, let me admit something.
Go ahead.
Because you're trying to make it look like I'm lying and making up stuff.
No.
I will agree. Listen, I'm going to agree with y'all.
My apologies. Go ahead.
I will agree if your mom has, did something traumatizing to you or something unfair to you as you were growing up that affected you still affects you as an adult, that if you forgive her, it will help you, but it will never make you perfect. It will never help you to get rid of all the bad stuff that's ever happened to you in your life. It will not help you, like in that situation. And everybody doesn't need to forgive their mother.
Won't help you?
Huh?
It won't help you in what situation? You said forgiving won't help you in what situation?
It won't help you to get rid of everything that's ever everything that's ever happened in your life that's bad to you. It will only help you if your mom was one of those types who traumatized you. That's it.
Hey, man, I get where you're coming from a little bit in that not everyone is gonna see this, and I don't think it's even because it's complicated, but it's just, I don't know, man. You gotta understand more about yourself and about life to see this. So I'm not gonna blame you for that. I'm not gonna try to convince you. But
I mean, it won't work.
But it goes back to the family, man. It goes back to the family all the time. The whole mother thing. You know what, John? Keep watching. I appreciate you calling me, by the way, and you watching my show. You watch the network. Look, keep watching because we keep bringing more and more examples. Maybe one day you will see it. But look, I just showed you Usher's mom. It's like literally the spirit is the same in every family. The mother acts the same. The father's weak. The mother's evil. It's like the same story over and over again. Maybe you need more examples and stories, and then eventually you'll see it.
That's what I disagree with.
But it's the spirit is the same in every family over and over and over again. So that's where we can leave that one because I'm not going to try and convince you. But please go ahead, your theory.
Okay, real quick, let me just give you my theory on that, and then I want to ask you about P. Diddy.
Please.
My theory is when you guys get on the airways, starting with Jesse, because it goes from Jesse down, right? The message that he sends out, if it just so happens to touch you, it's because you've been through it. So it's like Hake must have been through a situation where he needed to forgive his mom, or you must have went through a situation where you need to forgive your mom or grandmom or whoever else. And whoever else calls from all these different states that listen to y'all, it just so happens that y'all all been through the same thing. I haven't been through what y'all been through, man. So I can't say I need to go forgive my mom for making me go to bed on time or taking my toys away if I didn't eat or clean up after myself. I can't
He's adding to it,
forgive
folks.
my mom for that. Huh?
You added to it a little bit.
What do you mean added to it?
Oh, because the mom's just told you to put away your toys. But hey, if you're mad about that, yes, that is what you should forgive as well.
But see, that's on me though. That's not on my mom.
No, you're absolutely correct, man. You're absolutely correct. Obviously, if the message didn't hit you, it's because, well, you want to say it's because it's not true for you. We can argue about that, but that would be a silly argument. I personally,
because you don't know.
But
you don't know me,
you're
man.
right. If the message didn't hit you, it's because you didn't get it. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
You want to say it's because it's not true or aspects of it is not true. That's fine. But
it's not
whatever.
true for everybody.
I know that's what you think. I know that's what you think, and I understand because a lot of people had for example, a lot of people, for example, had like nice mothers, and so I get it. Oh, I had like nice mothers and all that, and so, like for example, I had a very nice mother. For example, my mother she was not mean at all. She's a total sweetheart.
She's Colombian, right?
Colombian. Absolute sweetheart. Comes from an older generation. In fact, she's actually my grandmother, and so that's its own story. But my grandmother raised me, but I call her mom growing up. Total sweetheart.
Fed you good, right?
Total.
She fed you good.
Fed me.
She was respectful to you.
Right. Fed me. Total sweetheart. Gave me what I asked for. Gave me everything I asked for. In fact, so isn't that already kind of fly? Because remember, you started this off by saying, well, Nick, you must have been through all sorts of stuff, and that's why it hit you.
Right.
I bet you didn't know my mother was a total sweetheart, huh?
I mean,
I bet you didn't know that, though, huh? I bet you're thinking, wow, it hits him because that's how his mother was. Anyways, if I may be brief, John, all I'm trying to explain here is that I understand why some people don't get it because they are expecting this mother who was nasty. And it's all these guys and wimps that they need to forgive these nasty mothers, but it's not that actually. It's not even. It's not about being nasty. It's not just how nasty they are. You got to understand that the sweethearts are pretty nasty still. But look, I don't expect you to understand all that. I don't expect you to understand all that. You didn't get the message. Maybe keep watching for examples. It might hit you.
The message ain't for me. That's why I didn't get it. A lot of people don't get y'all's message.
I don't know. Hey, look, I get you, man. It didn't hit you. You didn't get it. Don't worry. I'm not judging for that. I appreciate your call. Either way.
A speck. Y'all are only a speck of people who get that message. Only a speck. Y'all are the only people who
The road is narrow. You're so right, John.
Super narrow.
Yes.
Extremely narrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people aren't going to get this. This is where you're right. A lot of people are not going to get this very well kept secret. But anybody's paying attention can see the influences I'm talking about. Sir, can we talk about something? Let's pinpoint it to a definite question, or is that everything?
Well, I just had a question about y'all's church service. A comment that was made.
Yes.
And that'll be it. So the comment that was made was everybody who had the money like Diddy would be like Diddy. Did I hear that right on Sunday?
Yeah. Especially all the people judging. You know who? Especially the people who say they wouldn't.
I would not be like Diddy.
Ooh, bro. That means you're the worst one.
Listen, I would not ever, if I had $500 million, I would not be buying prostitutes and having orgies.
How you know?
And roofing, because that ain't who I am. That ain't who I am. It's called projection. All you people.
And who are you?
Saying, listen. All you people who
no,
say
you're just judging me. You're saying projection.
Evil.
I heard you say projection. You said you just want to do this judging thing where you're like you're just doing that because you're disgusting.
Okay.
Are you trying to tell us, John from Kentucky, that you don't have, for example, let's start with lust. You don't feel lust?
I don't feel lust anymore.
And when did you stop?
When I became a Hebrew Israelite.
And so there is no lust in you.
There's no lust in me.
Describe that. Because maybe you're talking about something I don't know. Then you would be right. I'm just projecting my lust. Because that's what people do. It's hard to believe someone who's totally... So tell us, John, though, I remain a little incredulous. I hope you don't blame me for that. But if this is true, you're right. I would be projecting.
Incredulous.
Yeah, I remain a little incredulous, maybe because of my own judgmental heart, because... I feel lust. Let's put it like that.
Because that's what you would do.
Right. No, you're absolutely correct about that. But you're making this claim. No, you're right. But you're saying, John, remember, you're talking about you.
That's amazing to me.
No, but John, this is truth that everybody understands. There's no secret here. There's no big secret you revealed. Nobody's feeling like that.
Okay. This is how you get rid of
hold on, John.
I'm gonna tell you how to,
No, hold on, John.
I thought you wanted to know how to get rid of it.
Hold on, John. It remains that just because John, let's say you're saying you people are projecting. Look, let me break it down. You're saying you people are projecting. Does it change the fact? Does it change the reality? Because you're saying John from Kentucky has totally overcome. You're the saint. You don't feel those things, okay? I would never do those things with all this money. Fine.
Never,
Is
bro.
this
Never.
true? No, wait for the question. Does this remain true for the vast majority of the world?
The ones who don't.
No. Does this remain? Would you look at the world and think that most people are like you, John?
No, only the people I encounter.
So would you say the vast majority of people? So you would agree that the vast majority of people, if they had the money, they would freak off like Diddy. Not you, John. Right? You're the special one.
I know.
You've overcome. But
I'm a chosen one.
Right, you're chosen, and you have no sin in you. But the rest of us projectors at church, and the rest of the people we were talking about, does the point remain?
See, it's a confusing question to me.
Does the point remain that us judgers with the projection all going on, and the people that we're projecting about, does the point remain that most people would go crazy with that money? I know not you, John, but the rest of us.
Hey. I guess they would, but
so then, John, all you did was
it just shows
all you're doing with your question is you just want to call and tell the world how holy you are. Is that all you're trying to say? Then?
No.
Because the point remains. You just agree with me that the point remains, right?
Okay, go ahead and get your words out.
Yeah, I had to get it out. Thanks, John.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
The reason why I asked the question because it's confusing to me how y'all can admit how evil y'all would be based on money. Like, I can't do that, man. I can't do that. I just can't do that.
Okay, gotcha.
Can't do that.
Well, thanks, John.
You can't see how evil
is that all you wanted to tell
man?
us? Yes, that's why we're saying it. What don't you get about that? Wait, John. Yes, you're saying, realize your question. You just said, we're at church talking about how evil everyone is, and you just asked me, don't you know how evil that is? Yeah, that's why we're talking about it, man. I know you don't believe. Look, I know that you're saying you have no evil in you. You would never do such things, but the point remains, and you agree with me, that most of the world would go crazy, and we're here saying how evil it is, and you're like, well, don't you know how? Yes, we know how evil it is. That's why we're talking about it. Yet you still agree with us that the whole world would go crazy. So then, what is the purpose of your question, John? Just
Not
for you
the
to tell
whole
us.
World. You didn't
just
say
for
the
you
whole world.
So what is the purpose of your question, John? Just for you to tell us how holy you are?
Just y'all undercover Satan worshipers are the only ones.
But we're not undercover. We're telling it out loudly and proudly. We're saying, yeah, we're evil. What don't you get about that?
Why are you like that?
Because
Why are you like that?
Because evil because we were born with this.
Do you read the Bible?
Nah, man. Look, we talked about it already. We were given the Spirit. But look, you don't even believe in that. I'm still trying to understand the point of your question. Is it to just say that you're sinless?
Listen, God told you how to inherit the kingdom of heaven, right? All you got to do is listen to him. He said, keep his commandments. That's how you show if you love God. Do you love God? Nick?
It's a deep question, man. I'm not just trying to blurt something out.
Do you love God? Because the Bible tells you if you love God, to keep his commandments. It hurts.
How can I say I love God if I don't keep his commandments, man?
That's how you show God if you love him. See, that's
no,
how.
I'm hearing you out. I'm hearing you out, and I'm using your words, and I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm telling you, I mean, I'm trying to dodge it. Sure, I guess I'm saying I don't love him, but how can I love him if I don't follow his commandments? You follow his commandments, John?
Yes, I do.
Really? Yep. You follow every single one of his commandments?
I follow every commandment that I could possibly consciously follow.
Oh, wait, hold on. Now it's changed. You went from I follow all of his commandments to I follow every commandment that I can possibly can with my awareness if I can, blah, blah, blah. So do you follow his commandments or not?
It makes more sense. It makes more sense to me versus all you guys are super evil and you would be more evil with money. It makes way more sense to me following and keeping God's laws.
No, what makes sense to me is how blind all people are, and especially Christians and so-called people who believe in God. Well, you're Hebrew or something. It's so funny to hear people who say they believe in good not be able to describe a single good thing in people. It's people who believe they follow every commandment, go around judging others, forgetting about that one. Stubborn. I don't know if you forgot about that one, John, about judging others.
What's that?
But that's what makes sense to me. You were saying what makes sense to you. I'm telling you what makes sense to me. All these people
judging
have
others.
no clue. Yeah. Did you forget about that one? You don't know about how it? Yeah.
I've heard y'all say that, but where'd you see it in the Bible? So I could go pinpoint it real quick.
Aren't you going to be judged if you go around judging?
Yeah, but you don't understand because you don't read the Bible, so you don't understand.
Okay, it's I got it, John. You have your understanding.
It's okay to judge.
There you go, folks. There it is, folks. He's got his own understanding of the Bible that comes from these Hebrew people or whatever he's listening to. You got to understand what we don't get, folks, is that we just not judging. We're just not judging in the right way.
And y'all don't have to read it.
We're just not judging in the right way that John knows how to do. Man, John.
Hey, you can let your sarcasm roll, but you're the one sitting up here admitting that you would be having all these orgies if you had money. So you should pray to God. Wait,
what's the big secret? I don't get it. Is this a big gotcha?
You should pray to God that you never have money.
Hey, Nick's audience, I'm here to call and tell you that Nick says he's evil. It's like, yeah, have you been watching the show? Like, have you been paying attention?
Yeah.
You're not getting.
There's degrees.
There's no bill. You're not revealing any secrets, sir. Hey, do you want to say? Let's talk about something new. Do you want to say something else before we move on? Well, let's not keep repeating. Don't laugh. Let's not keep repeating the same old boring thing.
No, I'm just saying, man. Like I was trying to call.
Last question, then we got to move on.
Well, I really don't have any more questions, man. I've been trying to call all three of y'all shows today.
Thank you for your call, sincerely.
Jesse, but I just can't understand. Like I want to know.
No, I know that you don't get it.
What's the black guy's name again?
I know that you don't get it.
Joel.
I know that you don't get it. You don't have to keep telling us you don't understand. Yeah, I know that you don't get it. Say something new. Say something new.
Understand.
Yeah, we heard you say that one already. What'd you want to say about Joel?
I want to know if he feels the same way. Like if he had all this money.
You should definitely call him. I'd love to hear the conversation.
He don't answer the phone, man. He does all this talking and blabbering. We talk about nothing.
He didn't get to. You wanted to talk about Diddy with him, and he had not gotten to that yet. If you had just given him a little bit more, he would have taken your call. Call him again, though. He's hearing you right now. He'd love to talk to you. I'd love to hear it personally.
Well, I mean, that's your friend. I think it's your friend, ain't it?
That's my brother. What are you talking about?
Anytime.
Yes, sir.
Hey, last question though.
Go ahead.
I'm an Israelite.
Yes, sir.
And you're from Colombia. But are you?
I'm from Colombia. Since when?
I mean,
I was born in Miami, Florida, and I hail from Canada. Sure.
Your descendants, though, like you say, your grandmother.
My
was
descendants.
From
I have no descendants. What are you talking about? I have had no children.
Man, you guys are immature, man.
You mean my ancestors?
Yeah, ancestors. My
okay,
fault.
okay.
Yeah.
So what do you want to know about that?
Are they white? Are they white Colombian?
Look at me.
Or are they?
I'm kind of white.
I mean,
no,
pale,
I mean,
you're
I
pale
don't.
skin, but you know what I'm saying? Like, are you
You jelly?
from Caucasian descent?
I don't know. I don't know the genealogy like that. I really don't know. I have speculations because my mother. I spit into the tube and gave my DNA to Ancestry, and so my DNA says I'm 62% or something like that Spaniard. Now, people have told me that's European.
You're a white boy.
I don't know what that means. I've never seen myself as a white boy. I'm not going to start doing that now all of a sudden.
No, I'm just telling you.
I don't see myself as a Colombian either, though. But you see yourself as an Israelite, right?
Yeah.
But hey, we don't need to get on all that. I just wanted to point out interesting things about identity. I don't feel the need to see myself as Colombian or even American. I know I'm the American anchor baby. So sorry, folks, if you're gonna get.
Know.
Go ahead. I wasn't saying anything.
I think
important.
it's good to know. I think it's good to know who you are biblically. That way, you can pinpoint what's going to happen to your people in Revelations. That's why I think it's good to know who you are.
This sounds like a whole can of worms.
No, man.
Can you call me again on this? Can you call me again on Revelation and the races?
The only reason why I clicked on your live, I was watching TV and scrolling on my phone at the same time. I said, "What is he doing on this time of night?"
Thank you, man. Hey, call me again though. I have some questions for you on race and Revelations. It's just a whole can of worms that we're not going to open up right now.
All right, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you this, man.
Go ahead.
Figure out what your values are, right? And then stick to those.
You figure it out. Don't do this little sunning. You're gonna sun me. Oh, you're gonna figure out your values. I just got finished talking about values the whole episode. Maybe you should watch the episode before telling me what to talk about.
Just figure out what your values are. You don't value.
Yeah, but maybe
all
you should listen to me talk before
about.
telling me what I should know. Maybe I already said those things. It sounds like you're just coming at me.
Maybe you shouldn't admit to being an evil person. Like
maybe
that.
you should.
No, heck no, because I'm not.
Flippies. I like playing flip around.
Ain't no flippies.
Yeah. I play my Uno reverse card on you. Uno reverse card. Maybe you should. Maybe you should see you're evil. Listen, man, John, I sincerely enjoyed talking to you, though. Can you call me again?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Take care.
All right.
Ooh, I didn't mean to cut you off in the middle of your goodbye, sir. See, that's a guy that's nice to talk to. They're not just like, I don't know. It sounds like he has real questions. Appreciate your questions, John. I got more callers. You're on the air. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Terri in Oregon.
Terry. How you doing, Terry?
I'm all right. How are you?
All is well.
Good. Well, I guess I had two things I wanted to talk on. I'll try to be brief.
Hit me.
Okay, so earlier you were talking about the stuff with Diddy, and a lot of stuff got brought up with that, but I kind of wanted to just validate some of what you were saying, because I've noticed that people who talk about their trauma don't ever get out of it. Like, they're endlessly stuck in this loop of being re-victimized. And every time they talk about it, their mindset goes back to that. And they refill all those feelings, and then they're doing it in front of people who are then judging them, which re-traumatizes them.
Folks.
So,
please.
It's a bad thing to do to yourself if you ever want to, get better.
If you didn't understand that, folks, that's the summary right there. I had to spend an hour and 40 minutes. But there it is.
I'm good at breaking things down.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you, folks. That's like, you're going to get mad at me? Don't get mad at me. That's the truth right there. Yeah. Reliving trauma, and then you're vomiting it on others, and you think that's good. You think that's strong. You're vomiting your problems on the world.
I think people are told that it supposedly helps others, but it really doesn't.
Fair enough. That is true.
And I think Jesse's really the only person, and I mean you've touched on it too, but that I've really seen that talks about how you really should handle that stuff. Because talk about it privately with somebody who can spiritually counsel you, who can make you understand, like, what's really going on. Like, everything else is leading people down really bad paths. They're not learning forgiveness, and they're not practicing it, and so, like, the cycle just continues.
Yes. And, I used to make a joke like, normalize shoving it way, way, way down. Normalize hiding it and shoving it way, way, way down. I would make that joke to just as a charge, I guess, against the world and how they see it. But honestly, you don't have to shove it. You don't have to. There's no shoving when you forgive. Just as easy. Look, maybe you're out here listening to me and something horrible happened to you, and you're like, I don't know how, but maybe you've forgiven someone else. Maybe you've forgiven someone else in your life for something way, way, way smaller. And notice how when you forgave them, it's gone, it's over, that doesn't exist. Just that easily is how it should be with the worst of the worst, without being graphic.
Well, yeah, I guess my other point that I wanted to bring up, and I wanted to have your opinion about, earlier today, I think I was in Joel's chat, they were talking about needing to repent as well as needing to forgive. Benny and I think another person, I can't remember who. And I'd said that I think that repentance is forgiveness. I mean, maybe not always, but that was kind of what I needed to see before I went and forgave my mother. Because, like, the thing about it that I didn't really put together in my mind about why it was important to, especially to do it with the language that Jesse had talked about, apologizing for holding resentment. It puts it back on you and makes you understand that you're the one in the wrong for judging in the first place, or for holding a grudge, or for, holding things against people. Like, that is repentance. You see that you're wrong. So forgiveness is the start of repentance. It's the beginning point. If you can't, see how you're affecting others and yourself by holding these ill will, grudges, resentments against people, if you don't see how that's holding you back from all the other stuff in your life that needs to get taken care of, like, that's the starting point.
Interesting commentary, Terry. I don't know.
What do you think, though, right?
I'll tell you what I think.
It's repentance to forgive, isn't it?
Let me tell you what I think and what I was thinking about when you said, because I don't know if I can offer the truth for you here on such deep words in the Bible. But I'll say this: I have heard Jesse say, repenting, you realize you're wrong. You realize you're wrong. You turn away. How is that not the end and how is forgiveness not the end and be all of repentance? Because you're it's not even about the mother. It is. It starts there, but what you're saying is like you're admitting you're wrong for this anger, and you're letting go of the anger, and you're wrong. If you let go of the anger, how can that not be the end and be the beginning and end of all sin? Okay, maybe I went too far on something I don't understand. But it's like anger, you got this anger, and it's like pushing you to do all this stuff, and you say, whoa, all these things that happened, all these things I thought, all the little tangents I took because of this anger, I'm wrong for it. I'm dropping it now. And it's that anger that drove you to do all that. That's the sin. I mean, it sounds like repentance. It's like the very same thing. It sounds like one and the same thing, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I just wanted to get
But don't
that out
use me
there.
as to win arguments in the chat. I don't know what
Never.
you're fighting about.
I just wanted to bring it to I just wanted to have more people hear it and see what they thought of it.
Yeah,
and see what you thought of it.
Yeah, that's what I think about it. I mean, it's like you're turning away from the thing. You're turning away from the. You gotta be. It's again, people are so shallow with the things you do. Oh, this thing I did. What caused you to do such a thing? Oh, I do bad things and good things sometimes. What's driving you to do that? Well, you know what? I'm wrong for that, and I'm dropping that thing that's driving me. It sounds like repentance, forgiveness. It sounds like a package deal.
Yeah, I think they are. Are they laid into one another?
Fair enough, Terry.
Well, thank you for taking my call.
Big time. Call me again.
Bye-bye.
Okay, 888-775-3773. Can we go on r/fit-to-fat for a second? Can we switch gears? And let's go. Can we go to reddit.com? I know it's not a place we peruse often, right? We're based. Based people don't go on Reddit. But there is a particular subreddit that's kind of fascinating. Maybe I'm a sick person. r/fit-to-fat. Nope, not fat to fit. Fit to fat. And no, this is not a fat fetish website. In fact, they make it very clear. They make that very clear at the top. Okay, this is not a fetish website. It's not about fat fetishes or feeders, by the way. Words that maybe you don't want to learn, but you watch the Anchor Baby show, and so you learn all sorts of things. But yeah, it's like people who are into feeding people until they become fat. No fat fetishers, they make clear, but this is a subreddit about people who were once fit and have become fat. I guess it's thrilling and shocking, and it's in a very TLC kind of way. And I'm maybe a sick person for, oh my gosh, university weight gain? What the heck? We're on r/fat-to-fit. I mean, fit to fat. Maybe I shouldn't scroll one. I should be careful with my scrolling. Hold on. Oh, T-Pain and his wife. Yeah. Married 21 years. Yeah. Welcome to marriage. You're going to get plump. You stop caring. You stop caring. Well, why am I bringing this up? I don't know, because it's kind of funny. I stumbled upon fit to fat, r/fit-to-fat. I find the reactions in the comments interesting. Despair, I don't know what it is. But also, a lot of this subreddit is full of couples, husbands and wives. And what's funny is in a lot of these husbands and wives fit to fat posts, there's all sorts of debates about if let's say, for example, it's a man who's married who's goes from fit to fat. There's all sorts of commentary about that. If it's a woman, there's commentary about that. If it's a couple, I bet you there's comments on this one about T-Pain probably. The conversations are so interesting, and it centers around like if it's evil to do it, if you're allowed to leave someone, if they get fat. What do you think, chat? Are you allowed to leave someone if they get fat? I say no, not if you're married. No, not if you're married. But getting fat is totally a reason to break up. It's totally a reason to break up. All over this subreddit, there's this one. Speaking of celebrities, it's kind of been a celebrity-centered show, Diddy and all that. Camila Cabello. What is she? Some like Cuban? I don't know. Whatever. Camila Cabello. She's all over this subreddit because apparently, and I guess this goes back some number of years, she was dating some Canadian. Oh, there you go. Another Canadian, Justin Bieber. This guy's name is Shawn Mendes, apparently. I don't know anything about these people, but she apparently got fat. Okay, she got fat. She's all over this fit to fat subreddit. They love talking about her. And she got fat, and then her man left her. And he said because the relationship got complacent. I guess he didn't, and they want to say it's because he didn't want to say it's because she got fat. And they give this Shawn Mendes guy, and this is old news, okay? But anyways, they give this Shawn Mendes guy hell in the subreddit for being so evil. How could you? And then afterwards, this woman gets all mad. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to get fit. And then she gets fit again. That's got to be crime. That's got to be a crime, folks. That's evil. That's evil. You mean you get fat? You mean you get fat with your man? And you're all complacent. You just let yourself go. He's willing to leave. So maybe he's the type to say, hey, you're getting a little fat. And you do nothing about it. And you want me to sit there and think that's a good thing, that I should marry this person? I should marry this person who's just becoming a fat slob before we've even gotten 20 years into the marriage, like T-Pain. Can we get 20 years, please? Can you at least give me 20 years? What the? And then afterwards, you want to go get fit. So only with anger will you get fit. Ladies, come on. That's gotta be, and that's like a story told over and over again, not just with celebrities, but with a whole bunch of people. Something's wrong in the thinking. No, 𝒐𝒊, I'm not talking about you. Okay? T-Pain has been married 20 years. 𝒐𝒊, I don't even know. I'm not calling you fat. Yeah. But you're saying you've had 2 kids. There you go. You had 2 kids. I'm talking about before any of that's even happened. And anyways, that's gotta be wrong mentality. There's something wrong in that thinking. Oh, you can't body shame and you can't leave someone because they're getting fat, and then they get fit afterwards out of anger, and that's a good thing. We're gonna call that a good thing. Oh, she's revenge body? No, come on. There's words for it. What a mess. So yeah, r/FitToFat. We love T-Pain. You know, T-Pain is pretty cool. I gotta say, T-Pain's a professional in many rights, but I don't know. How do I put it? I've seen his streams, and he doesn't care what people might call him. You'll see him dabbling on gaming. You'll see him dabbling on this, dabbling on that. And it's no identity. I don't see an identity. It's just T-Pain doing what he's good at and doing what interests him and showing his audience and the world loving it. So I like T-Pain. T-Pain's cool. Is he also a good boy? Married 20 years, no Diddy parties? I'm not going to judge, okay? I'm not going to be here just because I saw, there's people. Whoa, FatToFit, sorry. I scrolled by accident. You see one picture, you see Taylor Swift in a picture hanging out with Diddy. You see a picture of this person hanging out with Diddy, and now you think you know. That being said, is T-Pain a good boy? I think he might be a good boy. I'ma buy you a drink. Yeah. Yeah, we know. We love T-Pain. The bartender. Is she looking at me? I mean, obviously, those are much older. I'm sure he has other hits, probably even better than those. But those are the ones I'm thinking of, especially growing up, okay? So, yeah, r/FitToFat. And then let's finish off with this here. We'll finish off real quick. 2 more things here to end the show. They say men live a life of quiet desperation. You may have heard that. Joe Rogan said that. And so this woman on X, Trader Jill, writes, I just listened to a Joe Rogan podcast in which he said most men live a life of quiet desperation. And that just broke my heart. Guys, is this true? 1.3 million views. And it's just guy after guy saying, yes, it's a life of quiet desperation. Fellas, the quote is originally by Henry David Thoreau, an American. He died in 18-something. Okay. And the guy, if you read, I didn't read the book. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I read the book, but I did read the whole passage. And it's clear he's saying the mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. He's talking about all people. He's talking about all people. You know, back in the day when men were men and boys were boys and all that, men would refer to men, and humanity, men. It would include women, okay? Maybe you're not used to that. So just want to point that out. But also, he's talking about all people. He's talking about what is called resignation is confirmed desperation, he writes. From the desperate city, you go into the desperate country, and you have to console yourself with the bravery of minks and muskrats. A stereotyped but unconscious despair is concealed, even under what are called games and amusements of mankind. There is no play in them, for this comes after work. I don't know. Look, despair. He's talking about people. Like, come on. He's being pretty accurate, no? But he says, but it is a characteristic of wisdom not to do desperate things. He's telling people not to be desperate. Okay, so let's move on from that. Don't let your heart break, okay? And don't feel bad for men. That's not going to help them, and you're going to judge them anyways. And then one last thing here. Milk. Ending off on a lighter note. You know, we love milk. We love milk. Milk is the most hydrating drink in the world. It is the best accompaniment for your LNC, which is late night cereal. And some of you look, maybe some of you need this. Your biology doesn't allow it. Maybe I'm being judgmental. But they're saying popular milk brand has recalled in 27 states. A popular dairy-free milk alternative? Make it make sense for me. But it is a dairy-free milk alternative called Lactaid. Careful with the Lactaid, folks. How about go get the real thing? Yes, this whole segment was just so I could talk about milk. Okay? Yes, that's all this story was for. It's not that deep. I just want to talk about milk. And shout out milk. It's a great drink. Have the real thing. And if you can't, figure it out. That's the show, American Anchor Baby. I'll be back tomorrow, same time. Appreciate all the calls. And in fact, maybe there were even super chats, and I did not see. Thank you, Lord Spike Protein. Always supportive. All right, y'all. I'm out. Take care. We're going to talk tomorrow. Call me tomorrow and all that. Thank you, Aries. Appreciate the support on D-Live. I am live on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. That's the show. I'm out. See you tomorrow. Take care. Appreciate it, y'all. Bye. Oh, Lil Nick's got to say bye. Bye.